I want you to picture a specific moment. You're at a dinner table. Could be a birthday, a holiday, whatever. And someone asks your uncle, your coworker, your neighbor how their investments are doing. And they smile and say, oh, the market had a good year.
Up 8%. And everyone just kind of nods and moves on. Nobody stops to do the math. Nobody says, wait, 8% of what exactly? Because that number, that percentage, is almost completely meaningless until you understand what's sitting underneath it. And here is where things get wild. At $250,000 invested, an 8% market return is $20,000 in 12 months without touching a single keyboard, without picking up a single shift, without asking your boss for a single thing. And unless you are saving more than $1,600 every month from your paycheck, your portfolio is now quietly, officially outworking you. Most people hear that and think it sounds like a rich person problem. It is not. It is a math problem. And today, we are going to solve it together. My name is Nico, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, specifically the kind of money psychology that nobody teaches you in school, the invisible thresholds where the rules of building wealth completely change. If you are new here, welcome. This channel exists for the person who is working hard, doing most things right, and still feels like the finish line keeps moving. If that's you, hit subscribe right now, because we talk about this stuff every single week. And if this video makes something click, and I genuinely think it will, hit that like button. It helps more people find this content. Now let's get into it.
Here is a number that will reframe everything you think you know about saving money. The median American retirement savings for someone between the ages of 35 and 44 is roughly $45,000, not $250,000, 45. Which means the majority of people who are deep into their prime earning years, people who have been working for over a decade, are so far from the threshold we are about to talk about that the compounding math we are discussing today might as well be science fiction to them. And that is not me being cruel. That is the reality of what lifestyle inflation, debt normalization, and the absence of financial education does to a generation. The average person is not even in the stadium yet. But here is the thing. You are watching this video right now, which means something in you is already asking better questions than the average person. So let's use that. There is a concept I want you to sit with before we get into the hard numbers. I call it the contribution trap, and almost everybody falls into it. The contribution trap is the belief, usually unconscious, that the way you build wealth is through what you add, your monthly deposits, your savings rate, your hustle. And in the early years of investing, that belief is completely correct. When you have $5,000 invested, your 8% return is $400 a year. Your contributions are doing basically all the lifting. So your brain builds an identity around being a good saver, around the act of putting money in. And that identity is useful until it becomes a ceiling. Because here is where the math starts to do something most people have never been shown. When you hit $100,000 invested, and this is a milestone worth genuinely celebrating, your 8% return is $8,000 per year. You are now earning the equivalent of roughly a $4 an hour raise just from existing. But your contributions are probably still adding more to your total than the market is. You are still in the driver's seat through behavior. Now let's skip ahead to $250,000. Same 8% return. Now, we are talking about $20,000 in a single year. That's $1,666 per month of pure market-generated growth. And this is not locked away in some billionaire account. This is a number a regular person in their 30s or 40s can reach with consistency and time. And when you hit it, the entire game changes. Unless you were saving more than $1,600 a month, which for most salaried workers is genuinely difficult, the market is now doing more for you than you are doing for the market. Your money has hired itself, and you did not have to negotiate for it, interview for it, or ask permission. Now, let's talk about why this number, $250,000, feels so impossibly far for so many people, because it should not be. If you invest $500 a month starting at age 22 and you earn an average of 8% annually, you hit $250,000 in your late 30s, not retirement age, your late 30s. The problem is not the math. The problem is the psychology that derails the math every single time. I have seen this pattern over and over. Someone starts their career motivated, opens a Roth IRA, puts money in. Then they get a raise, and the raise does not go into the account. It goes into a nicer apartment. Then they get another raise, and suddenly the car they drive matches the neighborhood they want to live in. And slowly, invisibly, their savings rate stays exactly the same while their cost of living doubles. They are running on a treadmill that is speeding up, and they are calling it success because the number on the salary line keeps going up. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is not a willpower failure. I want to be really clear about that. It is a social engineering problem. The entire consumer economy is built to vacuum up every extra dollar you earn the moment you earn it. Advertisements do not sell you products. They sell you the feeling of arrival, the feeling that now you have made it. Now you deserve this. Now it is okay to spend. And that feeling is specifically engineered to trigger the moment your income goes up. It is not an accident. It is a system. And the $250,000 threshold is largely just a story about who escapes that system and who doesn't. Here is the opportunity cost version of that story. And this part genuinely hurts a little. If someone between 28 and 35 diverts an extra $400 a month into lifestyle upgrades instead of investments, that's one dinner out a week, a slightly nicer car payment, a streaming service or two, some extra clothes. That $400 a month invested at 8% over those 7 years is roughly $45,000. But those $45,000 are not just gone. Because of compounding, every dollar you fail to invest in your 30s is roughly $4 to $5 you will not have in your 50s. So that $45,000 of diverted savings is closer to $180,000 of retirement wealth that quietly never exists. You cannot see it. It leaves no receipt. That is what makes it so dangerous. The cost of the lifestyle creep is invisible until the moment it becomes catastrophic. So what do you actually do with this? Because I do not believe in motivation without mechanics. The first thing, the most important thing, is to fall in love with the idea of the $250,000 threshold as a target identity, not just a savings goal. When most people think about saving, they think about sacrifice. They think about what they are giving up. I want you to flip that. Every dollar you invest in your 20s and 30s is not money you are losing access to. It is money you are hiring. It is a small, tireless employee that will work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and never ask you for a raise. The goal is to build an army of those employees as fast as possible, because once your army is big enough, it starts to fund itself. The practical version of this looks like automating your investments before your paycheck hits your checking account, not after. Before, because the money you never see is the money you never spend. It looks like treating every raise as an opportunity to split 50% to lifestyle, 50% to investments. Not because you do not deserve nice things, but because the version of you at 62 will be living inside the decisions the version of you at 32 makes today. And it looks like tracking your savings rate, not your savings amount, every single month. A savings rate forces you to ask the right question, which is not, did I save something, but what percentage of what I earned did I keep working for me? Here is what I want to leave you with. The $250,000 milestone is not a rich person's problem. It is not a lucky person's milestone. It is a math problem with a very specific solution that is available to any person who starts early enough, stays consistent enough, and protects themselves from the system that is designed to make sure they never get there.
At $20,000 of passive growth per year, your wealth starts compounding faster than your contributions can keep up with. At that point, time becomes your most important asset. More important than your income, more important than your job, more important than any market prediction. You just need to stay in the game. The math will do the rest.
If you found any of this useful, please like this video. It takes you 2 seconds and it helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. Subscribe if you haven't already. We put out content every week breaking down exactly this kind of stuff. The milestones, the traps, the psychology, all of it. And drop a comment below. Tell me where you are right now on the path, because I read those and I want to know.